I work in security at Disney World, the happiest place on earth. Typically, I wouldn't say where I work, as obviously there are some pretty strict rules about things employees can put online. But I just don't think I can tell this properly without that context. And honestly, I think this may be it for me for this job anyways. I just can't see myself working there any longer now. I've been with the company for about 23 years now. The first 20 years I worked in the parks, nabbing shoplifters and rounding up people who were drinking too much for the heat. Occasionally, there would be a fight to break up, but people usually kept it pretty mild. The heat and walking was getting too much for me in the past few years, so I asked to be transferred somewhere with an AC, and the company moved me to one of their resorts. While the working conditions were 110% better as far as climate and comfort go, the guest issues were trickier, mainly domestics. I guess the expensive and stress of a vacation got to a lot of people, and I'd be called to neighboring rooms because some mom and dad were yelling at each other. I'd try to suggest that they take a nap or go do separate activities for a bit, and that would usually calm them down. But none of that is what I'm here for. I've got to get this out while I still have time. 3 days ago, I got a call from management. Apparently, a couple of days before that, housekeeping had went into a room that should have been turned over that day. Turned over is when one guest leaves at about 11 a.m., and the next guest checks in around 3 p.m. But all of the guests' items were still in the room. Housekeeping made a note of it and moved on. But during the next 2 days when they entered that room, everything was still there and untouched. I went to check it out, and sure enough, there was an empty room full of luggage, clothes, snacks, some toys, everything a family would need for vacation. The manager had already looked up the previous reservations, and it was for a family. Mom, dad, 2 little kids. I tried to call the phone numbers they had given, but all I got was voicemail. We were a bit stumped, so I made the call that the housekeeper could clean the room and take the family's personal items to be held until we got in contact with someone. I then went digging into the reservation more. The family had arrived 5 days before housekeeping discovered all their stuff. I found that the family had paid the parking fee and their vehicle description was listed. A quick walk of the parking lots, and I easily located their vehicle. So that ruled out a car accident, or them deciding to just leave all their stuff behind. Next, I had saw that they had bought a dining plan. This is when the guest prepays for all of their food. They were given a certain number of credits to use for meals. This family had only used 3 credits, and the last one was 2 days after they checked in. It appeared that the day they arrived, they got here late and probably just stayed on the resort. The next day, they used 2 credits at Epcot. The second park day, they had used only 1 credit at Magic Kingdom, and it was at breakfast time. Now, at Disney, we have something called Magic Bands. Magic Bands can be worn by guests and act as a room key, park ticket, credit card, dining reservations, payment, fast pass, a system used to bypass lines, and more. It took some work, but I was finally able to look up this family's fast pass history. The day they went to Magic Kingdom, they had had breakfast at a restaurant in the park, rode a couple of rides, and then rode their last ride, It's a Small World, around 11 a.m. Then, nothing. Finally, it was time to bring in someone else on this. I called an old coworker at Magic Kingdom and asked him to pull the security footage for It's a Small World at the time they wrote it, and I made my way over there. When I got there, my friend was very confused, almost distraught. He showed me what he found. There's usually a camera in the direction of where the rides load and unload. The footage showed them scanning their bands to use fast passes for the ride and boarding the ride. The footage from the exit of the ride just showed the other people from their car exiting. They weren't there. Of course, we thought the worst. Maybe one of the kids had fallen out, and Mom and Dad and the other kid got off in the middle of the ride to help, and they got injured or killed or stuck in the machinery somewhere. So we shut down the ride. Middle of the damn day. Turned off that earworm music and turned on the lights. Me and my buddy walked that ride 3 times before we called in help. Eventually, there was close to 10 cast members searching, and we didn't find shit except for 3 cell phones and a hat. I was just stumped. I've kept digging the past couple of days, and I'm not sure who to tell what I found next. I've called the police, and I suppose they're on their way, but the company has a way of covering up these kinds of things. So I've decided that I can't live with myself if I can't put out some kind of warning. I kept digging through their reservations over the last couple of days, and today I noticed that they had purchased a memory maker. There are photographers all over the parks, and cameras in a lot of the rides, so with Memory Maker, those photos are all free. They automatically get added to the guest's Disney account, so the system knows their pictures had been taken. And the system always knows. Everyone's whereabouts are always known because of the magic bands. Well, I opened their Memory Maker photo album, and I swear, there's 732 pictures. The first 30 or so are pretty normal. Epcot, a few rides, in front of the castle. But the rest are all from It's a Small World. The ride only takes 1 picture per go-around. So it appears that this family has written this ride over 700 times. The first picture was pretty normal looking. Everyone looked happy. It was a busy day and the car was full of guests. The next one is rough to look at though. The car is empty except for this little family, and they look so darn confused. The next 10 to 15, I can see the dad getting angry, yelling. Mom is holding on to those 2 kids like her life depends on it, and you can see the kids getting increasingly upset, crying. And it goes on and on, and on. After 50 or so, it looks like they're trying to get out. In one, the dad is missing. In another, they're all gone. Maybe they all bailed early on the ride and tried to walk out, but in the very next one, they're all right back in the damn car. After about 450 or so, I can only see the mom and kids. It's just when I look closely enough, I can see the dad. Maybe just his body now, slumped down in one of the other seats. Since about 675, there's just the mom and the 1 kid. Another body in the other seat. The kid and the mom aren't moving anymore. I think those 2 are still alive, just near catatonic, looking straight ahead, pale. And I swear this on my fucking life. Those dolls are moving or something. In some of the pictures, I can tell that they aren't where they should be. I swear I saw one of the dolls in the car with the family. I can't look anymore, or I'm going to lose my lunch. I closed the album. Its file size has increased since I closed it. God, are there new pictures still being added? I see on security cameras that the local PD just arrived, so they're taking over soon. I wish I knew what the fuck was going on, but I also wish this damn thing never landed in my lap. I don't think I'll be able to update this. After I talk to the police, I think I'm going to walk out of here and just never come back. I just wanted to get this out there before Disney feeds the media some bullshit cover-up story as to why this whole family vanished. They didn't vanish. I know where they are.